Next up for the Junior Championship cruise, it will be off to Woodbridge for the Cadman Construction Woodbridge stages. And taking no time to get settled in, it will be an early lead of the event for James Williams and Unum Peeler, the pair with a 21-second lead after just 3 stages. Will Crichton and Neil Coleman would be their closest competition at this stage, lying just behind them on the results and themselves with a good lead over anyone else. In fact, it will be almost a minute and a half advantage in that second place, as the next crew in third place, Charlie Barlow and Melanie Holmes, will be unable to match the times of the top 2 so far this weekend. Discounting the times of the top 2, things further down the results will be a lot closer, with Will Butler and Andrew Richards lying just 9 seconds behind Barlow at the midpoint of the event in 4th. And even closer again for 5th place Zach Hughes and Chris Evans, the pair just 5 seconds back from Butler, and things looking close going into the afternoon stages. Harry Williams and Mark Crisp were managing to keep up with the times of those around them. They go into the afternoon stages in 6th place and lying just 4 seconds behind Hughes. Seb Perez and Ryan Champion, meanwhile, didn't seem to be having much luck in the second half of the season, and they start the event in 7th place, although things were still close, just 7 seconds behind Williams. For William Hunt and Emma Morrison, it will be 8th place at this stage. The gap to Perez ahead was a little bigger, 30 seconds after 3 stages. And for Thomas Delaney and Carl Williamson, it will be 9th place, exactly 1 minute down on Hunt at this stage of the event. Ed Fossey and Sean Humphreys make the trip over from Jersey this weekend and end the morning stages in 10th position, just a second behind Delaney in 9th. So midway through the event, and the results are looking like this. On to the second half of the day then, and a look at the final results. And finishing just outside the top 10 would be Conor O'Brien and Brian Cammack in the Chevrolet Spark. Thomas Delaney and Carl Williamson unfortunately lose out in their close battle and end the day rounding out the top 10 in 10th place. And for Ed Fossey and Sean Humphreys, it will be a single place gained in the afternoon stages to finish in 9th overall. No change though in 8th place for William Hunt and Emma Morrison. They end the day in the position they'd held all morning. A good result for the pair, finishing 45 seconds ahead of Fossey. Harry Williams and Mark Crisp lose out on 1 place in the afternoon stages to end the day in 7th overall. The times were close though at the finish. That means for Seb Perez and Ryan Champion, it will be a move up the results into 6th. But they only just get that position with only 4 seconds separating them from Williams behind. No change for Zach Hughes and Chris Evans. They end the event in 5th overall, themselves with only a 29-second advantage in that position by the finish. Unfortunately for Charlie Barlow and Melanie Holmes, they end the event in 4th place. A good result of course, but they miss out on 3rd on a technicality, finishing on identical times, but missing out on 3rd when the stage times from earlier in the day were taken into account. So that means for Will Butler and Andrew Richards, it's good news. It's 3rd place, taking the final step on the podium this weekend by just about the smallest margin possible. No change in the top of the results though, the top 2 walking away with the times a little towards the end, and taking 2nd place will be Will Crichton and Neil Coleman in the Citroen. But taking victory this weekend, and by a very close 3 seconds, will be James Williams and Unum Peeler. The pair led from the start, but it was a close battle all day to hold off the chasing pair behind them. So at the end of the Woodbridge stages, the results look like this. An important part of the Junior Championship is the work put in between the events by various people and organisations, all designed to get the juniors ready for progression to the Senior Championships. And it's days such as this at Traw's Finnid where the drivers can get some much needed seat time, as well as information and guidance on a number of different items, from making post notes to our very own media training and how to make the progression once they turn 17. Gemma caught up with a few of the people involved in the Next Big Step programme to find out the benefits of a programme like that.
So I'm here with Sam, who is the latest graduate from the Next Big Step, and you've had a pretty good season, haven't you, so far?
Yeah, I can't complain this season. All been well. We've wrapped up the championship yesterday on the Woodpecker stages, so definitely going well this season. Far better than what we could have expected at the start of the year.
How has the Next Big Step helped you from juniors up to seniors?
Many ways, obviously financial, helping me just do the events this year. We've just been able to compete in the Forest, otherwise we might not have been able to make that step up from the Junior Championship into this year.
What would you say to any of the juniors who definitely want to move up to the seniors and have perhaps seen the Next Big Step?
I'd say it's definitely something to go for. It's something that it'll help them in obviously the PR and the financial in many different ways. Forest is, I would say, is definitely a good way to go because they obviously know how to drive on tarmac after the Junior Championship, and Forest is the next step up, so it's definitely the place to go.
Ian, you're very much the brains, the body, everything behind the Next Big Step. What made you decide to start it?
I just started because for two reasons really. I mean, I don't think as drivers that we put enough back into the sport, and the other reason why I want to start it as well is that there's no real sort of apprenticeship scheme with these young drivers once they leave the juniors. So it's aimed at sort of giving them as much experience as possible.
And you must be proud. You've got a couple of guys who have gone through your process who have done really well now in the seniors.
Yeah, they've done really well in the seniors. I mean, Sam's he's the first one to actually win the championship. Aaron finished, I think, second, and I think Niall finished third. So he's done very, very well, yeah.
And you're planning to shake things up a little bit and change them for next year?
Yeah, I mean, next year, I've always said I'd like to do more and more. And next year, the plan is to actually, rather to have just one winner, is to have several sort of graduating juniors who can actually benefit from the Next Big Step.
So Aaron is another one of the graduates from the Next Big Step, and I know Special Stage have quite an interest in him as they have followed him most of the way through his junior career, and now you're doing the big stuff.
Yeah, we've been in the juniors since I was 14 when Special Stage were doing the coverage, so it's great to get to know everybody, and now we're just trying to move our way up the ranks, I think.
And what did the Next Big Step do for you when you were making the move up?
Well, luckily I was the first person to win the Next Big Step, and in fairness we're a bit unsure on where to go. So luckily when the Next Big Step came along, it gave us the right path on trying to get to where we want to be.
What advice would you give to the juniors who do want to move up and they want to make a career out of rallying?
I would just say, sort of, take it slow, don't rush into things too soon. I mean, the Next Big Step next year is going to hopefully help a lot more people, so I would definitely say it's something to look into for everybody coming out of the juniors.
And what can we expect from you next year?
We're still unsure on what to do at the minute. We were competing in the British Rally Championship this year, which unfortunately fell through, so hopefully we'll be back in the BTRDA where the fun is.
So that's all from the Junior Championship this month on Special Stage Extra. Stay tuned after the break for action from the Woodpecker Stages Round 7 of the Welsh Rally Championship.